As I was about to climb the altar this morning, the Lord stopped me in my bedroom and sent me a word to Nigeria. Send me a word to Africa. But in Nigeria in particular, the Lord sent me a word to the prophets, to the apostles, to the pastors. Lord, send me a word to the president. Lord, send me a word to the freedom agitators, freedom fighters that will emerge and that has emerged. The Lord sent me a word to the GOs, to the founders, to the papas, to the mamas, to the prophets in Africa. In particular, in the territorial where I govern prophetically, Nigeria, South Africa, Western South Africa. And the Lord said to me, in this Sunday of freedom, in this month of freedom, tell my people, in particular, thy prophet, thy bishop. And this is the word. It's not written down. He told me, and I could hear God clearly, as a son heareth his father. He said to me, there are certain war of freedom that I must warn you, including myself. I must warn you, including myself. The prophet, the bishop, the papa. There are certain war of freedom, there are certain fight of freedom that you must never fight, and you can never fight because you can never win. You will be defeated. And I said, God, what is this war of freedom? We are in our month of freedom. Everybody wants freedom. He said, yes, I know everybody wants freedom, but there are certain war of freedom that they must never fight. You must never fight. He was talking to me, and he said, as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to all the pastors, all your papas, all your apostles. Particularly, he said, on this Sunday service, tell them, I, the Lord, said, there are certain war, in particular in Nigeria, with the Nigerian situation, that they must never fight. I said, Lord, what are these ones? He said, tell my people, you will never win a war by fighting for me. Never, never, caution, never fight a war for me. Never fight for me. I heard God just about 10 minutes ago as I was preparing to come to altar. Never fight for God. Never fight for me. I said, God, what do you mean? He said, not only that, son, never fight with me. I said, God, this is what? This is big for me. Lord, explain to me. Never fight for God. Never fight with me. If you want freedom, stand with me. I said, Lord, never fight for me. The Lord said, never fight for me. Never fight with me. Because you are too small to fight with me. You are too small. You are nobody to fight for me. Many that fight for me, they lost the battle. They lost their life. Many that fight with me, they are irrelevant. They lose. They lost everything. Totally. They are nobody. Fight. Your fight by standing with me. Never fight for me. Never fight with me. Stand with me. I said, God, this is heavy. Have I not told you? One of my disciples attempted to fight for Jesus. We drew the sword. And Jesus said to him, who are you to fight for me? Have I no power? May I not send angel to destroy? Because you will never win. You will what? You will be disgraced. If you fight for me, if you fight with me, you will be disgraced. Was he not disgraced? Because Jesus took the hair and fished it back. Saying what? Son, you are too small. It was an embarrassment for him. Hey, I said, God, I didn't notice that. He said, yes, it's an embarrassment for him. Because he attempted to fight for me. Even when I was there, he attempted to fight with me. He's too small to fight the battle for God. Freedom. I said, what did happen? He said, stand with me only. Stand with me. And we saw, after when Jesus was crucified, he followed to see what we aimed. He learned a lesson. He stood with Jesus. Not fighting for Jesus anymore. You are too small. And the Lord said to me, I sent Moses. I sent Moses to Pharaoh. Stand with me, and I will direct you what to do. I said, God, what is that again? He said, tell my prophets. 2 messages he sent me. Tell all my prophets. Your prophets. My prophets. Freedom is not by a curse. Don't fight freedom by curse. You cannot curse for freedom. I said, God, this is too deep for me again. He said, I could have cursed Pharaoh. I could have disarmed Pharaoh by cursing. He said, no, but cursing, freedom is not by curses. So tell my prophet, stop cursing. I curse Boko Haram. I curse this. I curse. You curse and curse political party. You curse the president. You curse everybody. You curse. How many freedom have you achieved? Have they achieved by cursing? I said, God, this is too much for me. It was an interaction between me and God within few minutes. He said, I said, God, then what do we do? He said, action is what I demanded of all of you. Put up an action. I could have cursed, or I could have cursed Pharaoh. I could have cursed all the enemy of my people. But I sent action. I sent Moses. Moses, go there. Action. Stop cursing. We should stop cursing. We should start what? Action. Put up an action. Prophet, Papa, Daddy, Mommy, Apostle. What is your action to freedom? What is your action to freedom? You curse and curse, and nothing has happened. Don't you know that there is something to be done? Don't know what's telling me? Let them put up an action. Nigeria? Africa? There is no freedom without action. Freedom is not on the altar of curses. Mandela could have won action in South Africa, and he could have won freedom by cursing the apartheid. No, but he put up an action. Action. And that brought me, and God, I said, how do you know what I'm about to tell you? He said, I know your heart, your mind. So go there now again, teach my people on fighting a freedom by their action. Where there is no action, there is no freedom. What action are you putting in to gain your freedom? Action. What action are you putting in to get your financial freedom? What action are you putting to regain your political slavery? What is your action, brethren? Under the sound of my voice. Freedom is not only by prayer. It's not by speaking in tongue. Action. Somebody shout action. Hey! Joseph will have been speaking in tongue with 45 wives to regain his freedom. Action. Somebody say action. Somebody say action. He was not praying in tongue in the bed of Delilah. He was not speaking in tongue. Even without the speaking in tongue of Samson, there was no action. He fell. Joseph was not speaking in action. He took an action. Was not speaking in tongue. He took an action. Was not praying. Was not cursing. Was not prophesying. Was not using anointing oil about that time. Was not putting the mantle of his papa. Action! He put on an action. Christian believers, we have been too deceived by spiritual energy and has been putting you and me in perpetual slavery. No freedom! There is no freedom for as many that want to fight for God. That want to fight for God. With God. Fight by your action to your situation. Fight your action. Show me your action in your situation. I will show you a man with freedom. I'm speaking today about action. Action. Taking an action. Now, before it is too late. Hello? This is the message God sent me this morning. As I bring you a word titled Actualizing Your Freedom for Undeniable New Life Fulfillment through your action. Show me your decision. I will tell you your action. Your decision, if it is wrong, your action will be wrong. Are you taking a decision? Last Sunday, we started the series on actualizing your freedom from undeniable new life fulfillment through your senses. But this morning, actualizing your freedom after applying your senses is what? Action. Senses without action is senseless action. Aridos idarado. Prerush inter credis carandos caprudi ikala. Lisu capru ikalita sisa. Re osisa kali. Decision without an action. Sense without an action is senseless reaction. What is your action for your freedom? You must take a bold step. Your senses must be working 24/7. And if your senses are working 24/7, then take an action. Don't just stand and cursing and fasting and prayer and all that. Take an action. There are many people today, you have heard, you have seen, that this is fraud. Your prophet is fraud. Your bishop is fraud. Your CEO Your human resource manager is fraud. What action are you taking? What action are you taking? Some people, Christian, you want to fight for God? God warned me again this morning. My son, stop to fight for me. I know it may be painful, but there are some freedom you will never, there are some war you will never win if you are fighting for me. I will fight for myself. I will fight for my people. I want your people, you hearing me now, to take an action for your own freedom. And when you take an action, I will fulfill your action. That's what the Lord told me. Where there is no action, there is no reaction.